this video, we are exploring how Joe let you building structure throughout inheritance, define contracts with interfaces, and enforce rule with abstract classes. By the end, you'll understand when to use each and how they fit together. Imagine you are building a cookie store application, and you need to represent a cookie with flavor, size, and bake logic in cookie class. Then you decided to represent another cookie type, chocolate cookie, with flavor, size, and bake logic also. You could repeat flavor, size, and bake logic in chocolate cookie. But why? That's where inheritance, abstraction, and interfaces come in. This is inefficient. We are repeating everything. What if we want to change bake works? We'd have to update it in every class. But we can extend chocolate cookie from cookie class. Now chocolate cookie reuse everything, flavor and size, and the bake from cookie and its oven logic. Cleaner, dry, and scalable. But inheritance isn't just code reuse. It's also about repeating is a relation. Chocolate cookie is a cookie. Why abstract classes? Firstly, I decided to change flavor field to a behavior, okay? And I change it to avoid flavor methods. And the other cookie's inheritance flavor from cookie. But I want to say every cookie must define a flavor. I don't want to force a default one. So that's what abstract classes are for. To push every cookie to define their flavor, I change flavor method to abstract. Perfect. And I need to change cookie class to abstract also. Now chocolate cookie should implement flavor method. Let's complete its oven flavor. And I decided to create another cookie also, oatmeal. Now I can extend oatmeal from cookie. I just need to implement flavor method because it's abstract. Oatmeal flavor. Perfect. And that's what abstract classes are for. Let's say you have a class that should be able to bake, but it's not a cookie. Maybe it's a biscuit. And it's not in the cookie family, but it still needs baking behavior. Instead of forcing inheritance where it doesn't make sense, we define an interface. It's a bakeable interface and there is a method here. We define our biscuit class also, but we need to implement our bakeable interface here to give behavior to bake to biscuit class. When biscuit implements an interface class, it needs to implement bakeable methods also. Bake is here, so we can, so we can give bake behavior to our bake methods, biscuit baking. Perfect. Interfaces define capabilities. Being bakeable is something many things can do, and biscuit not necessary to share a parent. If you are preparing an interviews, here is a tip you are almost guaranteed to be asked the difference between abstract classes and interfaces. Let's break it down with a comparison. First, instantiation. We cannot do this. Neither abstract class nor interfaces can be directly instantiated. And next, inheritance type. For this example, I create two packages here and I collect abstract class under abstracts package and I collect interfaces under interfaces package. As you see, I created another interface, bakeable. Let's return our biscuit example. Java allows implementing multiple interfaces. We can add another interface here. No problem, just we need to implement the second interface methods also. Bake method is here and here is our bakeable interface. We can do that. But when we check this for abstract also, we have an abstract here. It's cookie. And I create another one here. It's cake. When I try to extend a cookie type with another abstract class also. Okay, import class, make public. Okay, as you see here, we have a compiler error because class cannot extend multiple classes. The second one is Java allows implementing multiple interfaces, but you can only extend one class. The next one, abstract class can have both abstract and concrete methods, but interfaces can have only default and static methods since Java 8. For example, into abstract class, we have an abstract method here, and we have a concrete method also. But when we try to implement any concrete method into an interface like this, it's not possible because of its name. They are same. Let's change its name, bake2. We cannot implement concrete methods here. We can change it to default. It's allowed after Java 8. We can change it to static also. Static and default are allowed. Next, for the third one, we can say abstracts can have both abstract and concrete methods, but interface can have default and static methods since Java 8. Okay? And another one, we can define a field into abstract, like here, its size. It's okay for abstract class, but when we try to implement any field into an interface, it's not allowed. And it can be only public, static, final is allowed into interface. So the fourth one, abstract, can have field states, and interface can only have public, static, final constants. Another one is constructor, and constructors are allowed for abstract class. We can create a constructor here into abstract, but in an interface, when we try to implement a construct in an interface, it's not allowed, and it says us remove constructor. The fifth one, constructors, is allowed for abstract, not allowed for interfaces. The next one is about access modifiers. We can define into an abstract class a public, and okay, let's define another one, private, calculate price. Let's define another protected class also, like calculate price. Let's name it peg and protected. Okay, we can define public, private, and protected into abstract class. It's not possible for interfaces. For interfaces, public only. Okay, so let's check it together into an interface. So let's put another bake method, bake3, change it access modifier to private. As you see, we cannot do that. Sixth one, access modifier are private, and interface access modifier is public only for methods constants. It means we cannot do that. Private, not allowed. Let's continue. The last one is about inheritance keyword. As you remember, chocolate cookie extends from cookie. Inheritance keyword for abstract is extends. And inheritance keyword for interfaces is, where's our biscuit here? It's implements. The last one is abstract inheritance keyword is extend, and interface inheritance keyword is implements. Each of these features give you flexibility, but knowing when and why to use them is the real interview skill. And that's our look at how abstract classes and interfaces give us the building blocks for powerful, flexible, object-oriented design in Java. Stay tuned for sealed classes in next video. This is Powerful of Object-Oriented Programming, Inheritance, and Modular Design. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thank you for watching, friends. See you in the next one.